quick starter for 10 on relays. So in a panel, you've got all of your zone wiring and all of that, right? That's all your inputs. Then you'll have outputs such as sounders, goes Nino, Nino, right? So that would be probably rated at an amp, or sometimes up to, yeah, or half an amp, 24 volt out, sounders go off, whatever. But then you'll have relays, switching, right? So in the field on an analog addressable system, I hoped I had a normal one. This is actually capable of switching mains, but it will do for this. You'll see these about. This is Apollo's. But you have something along these lines. I'm going to give them 2 squares each. Right, so you'll have common, you'll have normally open, and you'll have normally closed, right? Normally rated at 0 volts. Although if the panel does have auxiliary, if it does have an auxiliary 24 volt, you might be able to loop these guys together to then switch to send 24 volts off somewhere in the field. But in essence, what is a relay? You should be familiar with this. You are Sparks. This is an MK single gang 2-way switch, right? Common, L1, L2. You can see historically I've been using this for a bit of a fuck about, but you know what this 2-way switch is, right? So with that in the off position, you have got common, normally closed, normally open. And then when I do that, normally closed has opened, normally opened is closed. So open, that you don't have a complete circuit, right? So closed is you've got a complete circuit. Hold on. Closed, complete circuit. Open, incomplete circuit. So in the event of a fire or a fault, so let's say this is a fire relay, because fire is what we're here to do. So we might need this to perform an action under fire. So you could have, say, a door magnet. Right, so that is, it comes through here and here, right? Normally closed. Here it is over here at the other end doing its thing. So this works. This is magnetized. This has energy going to it, whatever rating it is. Comes through, got it. In the event of a fire, so this is in normal mode, normally closed. In the event of a fire, normally open will close, and normally closed will open. So if that opens, that's going to kill the supply to that door magnet, which means then the door can be easily pulled open, people can get out. That's the kind of thing we're doing. So, you know, that would be, imagine, you know, here we are, so we're in the on position. So L2 and common, they are keeping the lights on, the lights are on. Yeah, and then we go into fire mode, turn that, that then, you lose that connection there, right? That's now connected to there. So the lights go off. It's the same with this, yeah? So really, a 2-way light switch is a 10 amp, you can see the rating on there, 10 amp, normally open, common, normally closed relay, yeah? Operated by a very handsome 39-year-old. Cool, then how long into this are we? 4 minutes. So then let's go, can we use this to trigger something else, right? So say for instance, we've got, okay, so I'm gonna draw it again. Do a different color? I've got green around here. Do you work? Cool. Right, so we're gonna go normally open, common, normally closed, and then we're going to have over here, I'll use the green, just know that it's there, and then we're going to have pos and neg of a zone on the panel. Yeah, I'm going to call it zone 609. Right, as we've done on other videos, you know that something needs to trigger this zone, right? So your cool point is going to kick out, I think, 4,700 ohms, right? 4K7. So what we would have then connected here is we would have our, let me remember this. So we would have, normally open would be our fire trigger. So say that's 4K7, I'll do that in green. And let's say we've got, yeah, because we're just using this trigger zone, we will have, in fact, God, that's what I've been bloody doing there. We'll have our end of line. And we'll have our EOL. So in this instance, it's a capacitor, it could be whatever. And the way that we wire that is we go neg to normally closed, pause to normally open, then we go trigger to here, and we wire end of line to here, then they get wired into common. All right, have I got the closed and the open the other way around? Yeah, so normally closed, we've got our end of line, right? So we're sat there, we're all happy. In the event of a fire, we go to this side. So it switches to trigger. So that will send the 4K7 resistance into the zone. Yeah, that's the way you do that. So on here, can I show you on here? It's super, super safe. Can we see that on there? Right, so you've got on here, normally open, at this point of the pin, normally open. Can I get that better? Yeah, normally open, common, normally closed, yeah? And then on here, you've got inputs, pos neg, 1 and 2. This is just a 2-gang input. So you could wire out of this addressable device and then have that trigger another device somewhere else, or it could trigger a zone or do whatever. But that's what it starts becoming a bit fun, is that switching. I don't know if I can explain it any better, but yeah, perhaps I will do a big test rig. Do you know what? I might do a rig that has got some 24-volt neons on it that I can trigger using the relay on the panel to make that a bit obvious. Cool. Does that make sense? Because what I've done here, it's normally closed, normally open, is I've gone normally closed, end of line, normally open, trigger resistance, which is 4K7 in this instance, and then I just bought these two, just took a pair to the zone, pos and neg, and that's how that worked. So I could, as a sort of, basically a cool point, what I was doing is I was just trying to see if I could make one panel trigger another panel that was linked, and then I just on the panels programmed to be non-latching, so then when the other panel came out of fire, it brought the other panel out of fire. The moment it stopped seeing that and saw that again, it just cleared itself. Yeah, stick me some feedback in the comments if you want a better explanation for this. Yeah, maybe I'll do a live rig at some point when I've accumulated the bits and pieces without buying anything, because I'm trying to do it that way. No editing, no buying. Cool, right, peace, love you.